Eric?" My wife Nicole calls out from the kitchen as soon as I walk in the door from work. "Get in here. I want to speak to you." As I hang up my coat, gloves, and scarf, my eyes widen. Did I do something wrong? With my jaw clenched, I poke my head around the doorframe and look into the kitchen. Nicole, complete with apron and flour dust in her hair, stands at the oven, glaring in my direction. "Darling?" I say like butter wouldn't melt. "What is it, sweetheart? Do you need me to make you a special Christmas time hot chocolate?" Nicole throws me a frown before putting a finger to her lips. "Come here," she whispers, ushering me closer. Suspicious, I saunter over to her, half expecting a sucker punch. Maybe for not taking out the trash, or maybe for leaving a Christmas present out in plain sight. "Darling, what is it?" I approach cautiously. "Look at this." Hidden in the pocket of her apron, Nicole pulls out a small, pleated skirt, too small to be hers, and a pair of knee-high socks. Eric," she thrusts them into my arms before looking over my shoulder to ensure we are alone. "I found these in Elliot's room, hidden behind his bedside table." I glance down at the skirt, then back up at my wife, then back down at the skirt, then back up at the worry on Nicole's face. Maybe he had a girl in his room without us knowing? Nicole's face remains emotionless as she looks at me. "And what? She got undressed and hid her clothes before leaving?" she plainly replies. "That's not likely, Eric. Be real." I hold up the socks and they unravel in front of me. "Oh, are you suggesting these are his? What does a boy need with a pleated skirt and knee-high socks?" "Exactly." Nicole snatches the socks from my fingers and stuffs them back into her apron pocket. She then grabs the skirt and holds it up to me. "I have never seen these before. I defo didn't buy them, and they wouldn't fit around my biscuit, so they've gotta be his, right?" I furrow my brow in thought. I guess all the evidence does point towards that, yeah. At that moment, Elliot swings into the kitchen and opens the fridge, paying us no mind. Grabbing a soda, he closes the fridge and gives us both a soft smile. "Hey, Dad." Elliot cracks his drink to take a sip. "So, what hot chocolate flavors are we trying today?" "Oh, I'm working on a savory flavor," I say, turning to face him as Nicole stuffs away the skirt to hide it. "Might taste a little funky, but I always appreciate you helping, kiddo." "Excited to try it." Elliot takes another sip of his drink. "It's been fun helping." Nicole stops us from idly chatting and steps past me with purpose. "Elliot," she says sternly, slowly pulling the skirt from her apron pocket to show him. "Care to explain this?" She lifts the little skirt into the air, and the whole room seems to crack under the tension. I can practically see my son having an out-of-body experience as he stares at it in shock. It's painfully clear he never meant for Nicole to find it. Silence. No one speaks. But Nicole steps closer, waving the skirt and then the socks around in the air. "Are these yours, young man?" Nicole asks bluntly, and Elliot's face turns bright red. No." Elliot squeaks a reply, backing against the fridge as if he's threatened. That's when I notice he's beginning to shake. Nicole?" I reach out and gently grasp her shoulder. She turns to look at me. "What?" "I think we should sit down and talk." I point at the breakfast table and then look at Elliot, who's frozen in fear. "I think you should join us, son. I'll make you both a hot drink." The awkwardness only gets worse as Elliot sits at the other end of the table from Nicole and with his head down, just stares at it. As I bring over the hot chocolate, I can see Nicole fiddling with the skirt, a pent-up look on her face. "Now," I place the hot chocolate in front of them both. "Have a wee sip of this one. I put nutmeg in it. Should be delicious, and I know how much you like that, Elliot." Reluctantly, Nicole does just that. She stirs, has a sniff, and then sips. I see her face soften, and a smile slips out. "Elliot," I look at him. "What do you think? Am I getting closer to the winning recipe?" He looks at me, and I can see he's crying, but he forces a smile, sips the drink, and gives me a thumbs up. Lovely, Dad. Thank you. Silence once again as Nicole folds her arms and looks off into the distance. She pushes the skirt across the table, highlighting that she wants to speak about it. Before she says anything, I let out a light laugh. This is all so silly. I pass the skirt over to him, and he glances up at me. I'm sure there's a reason for this being in your room, Elliot, isn't there? He doesn't look me in the eye, and that makes me fearful of the answer. Son? I say, sounding more disappointed than intended. Please tell us the truth about this skirt. Is it a girlfriend's, or have you taken up wearing woman's clothing? I let out a light laugh, trying to make light of the situation to break the tension. Elliot doesn't take the skirt from me. He shrinks in his chair, nervously touching his face and hair. I give Nicole a worried glance, and I can see she's beginning to tear up. Son, I say softly again, suspecting the latter might be the truth. Listen, we love you. That means we love every part of you. Please, be brave and tell us what's going on here, because we're both concerned you're hiding things. Why do you care? He whimpers, shrugging me off. Confused, I take a single step back, giving him space. Of course I care. I look up at Nicole, who's watching with worry. Isn't that right, sweetheart? We just want to understand. Nicole nods and reaches across the table with her fingertips. Yes, Elliot. That's why we need to know what possessed you, a boy, into buying clothes meant for girls. Elliot says nothing before I reach in to touch his shoulder. In that moment, Elliot explodes in frustration, or maybe even anger. Either way, he recoils from my touch and shrinks in on himself, crying. You have no idea, he whimpers before screaming out. You have no idea what it's like. Stunned and a little speechless, I look over at Nicole. We stare, a confused look, neither of us knowing what to say or do. Every day, every single day, I wake up to find my wish hasn't come true. I hate my body. I hate who I am. Elliot thumps at the table, making Nicole jump. Why were you in my room? That's private stuff. Elliot cries out, hitting the table one more time. I bite my bottom lip. Son, you hate who you are? Elliot? Nicole stands and reaches across the table to touch the fist that just slammed down hard. Are you trying to tell us you're unhappy as a boy? I watch as tears run down my wife's cheeks. Yes! Elliot screeches before scratching wildly at his cheeks. Maybe. He shakes his head and then whimpers into his arms. I don't know, he says, barely audible as he cries. I just don't know anymore. The skirt is yours, isn't it? Nicole asks softly. Elliot nods his head, still buried in his arms. You bought them to make you feel good about yourself, Nicole asks, getting up from her seat to stand at his side. Again, Elliot nods as I watch my wife embrace our son. Son, I step forward and rest a gentle hand on his head, staring a worried glance at my wife. Is what you're saying true? You want to be a girl? Sometimes I feel so empty, Dad, he admits, crying into his arms. I'm just so jealous of girls all the time. I think I've been born into the wrong body. I think He chokes up and stops talking, like it's too painful to admit. So, you want to be a girl, sweetheart? Nicole asks, embracing him tighter like only a mother can. I don't know, he howls, breaking down into tears. I just don't know. Elliot continues to cry out. I'm broken, aren't I? I'm a failure of a son, and now you both hate me. He stands, pushes past me and runs out of the room, leaving us entirely speechless. The next day, Elliot appears at the fridge, grabbing a soda. I turn and smile. "Hey, Elliot, just made another batch of hot chocolate. Do you want to try them with me?" Holding out a cup towards him, Elliot doesn't even look me in the eyes. In fact, he says nothing and scurries off to his room. I watch Elliot leave and then turn to my wife. "Still not talking, huh?" Nicole grits her teeth. "Nope." "Should I take it up?" I ask, holding out my latest and greatest hot chocolate recipe. "I don't know." Nicole shakes her head. "Yesterday was probably a huge deal. Elliot probably needs space." "Yeah." I look longingly at the kitchen door. "Yeah, you're probably right." The day after that. "Elliot," I say, gently tapping on the bedroom door. "You've got to try this one. It's caramel white chocolate with pistachio." No answer as I stand in front of Elliot's closed door, clutching the drink I've made as the marshmallows gently fall from the whipped cream on top. "Kid," I say, worried, knocking again. "Come on, you've barely left your room. I miss having you taste these things. It's no fun making these chocolates if no one tries them." Still no reply. I look down at my feet and let out a sigh. "Sorry to bother you. I'll leave this drink outside your door, okay? Maybe we'll talk later." The night after that, I lean over to my wife, who's messaging on her phone. "Sweetheart, are you okay? You look a little stressed." "Ah," she groans, rubbing her eyes as she lowers her phone. "Every website I've gone to for advice says we need to give Elliot time." "Yeah." I let out a long breath, lowering my head onto the pillows. "He's still not talking to me either. I can't work out if he's just feeling embarrassed about what was said, or if he's just too scared to face his admission." Nicole cuddles up next to me, her face resting on my chest. "Our son might actually be our daughter, Eric. How do we help that happen?" She grumbles for a moment. "Is that even what Elliot wants? I just don't know, and it's driving me crazy." I stroke my wife's hair before planting a kiss on her forehead. "It's a big step, I suppose. I have to guess it would be a very scary decision. Think about how scared Elliot was to even attempt to tell us about it. Imagine what that must be like for a 16-year-old kid." I chuckled to myself. At 16, all I was worried about was if girls found out I still played Pokemon. I chuckle again, but this time with misty eyes. Can you imagine what it must be like for Elliot? You know, being that unhappy in your own skin? "Honestly, I'm trying to understand it," Nicole replies, placing her hand on my chest. "I just wish we could take the fear away, Eric. I can't stand knowing my baby is hurting." Silence, as we just hold each other, before Nicole looks up at me with a silly smile. "Did you really play Pokemon right into your teenage years?" "Yes," I say proudly. "Nerd," she teases before snuggling closer. The evening after that. Having taken yet another master stroke of chocolate to Elliot's room, I come back into the kitchen to clean up. "Still didn't open up," I say, entering the room to find I'm talking to no one. I look at the back door, and it's wide open. Curious, I poke my head out to see my wife in her PJs and slippers looking at her trash bins. "Sweetheart?" I say, grabbing her attention as she pulls out a single black trash bag. "What are you doing? The hot chocolate I made you is getting cold." Rolling her eyes, Nicole scurries back into the house with the trash bag in hand. Shutting the kitchen door behind her, she drops it onto the floor, and I look at her like she's gone crazy. "When did you turn into Oscar the Grouch?" "Funny," she snarls, opening the bag to reveal it's full of clothing. "I saw Elliot throwing this away earlier." She reaches inside and starts pulling some of it out. It's an assortment of female clothing. Nicole looks up at me, confused as she holds a small bra. "I don't understand, Eric. Why would he throw this away? Is he embarrassed or upset with us, do you think?" Mouth open, I have no reply. I just shake my head. There's some really nice things in here, Eric. Nicole holds up a sequins dress. This is really cute. I can't imagine this was cheap for Elliot to buy, and yet it's being thrown away with all this other stuff. Nicole folds the dress neatly over one arm before looking at me worried. How long has Elliot been hiding this from us? Nicole's head drops, and she presses herself against my chest. I just wish he, or she, would talk to us and let us help. The morning after, stepping into the corridor, I see Elliot, backpack in hand, and about to head off to school. Oh, my words catch in my throat as Elliot sees me and looks flustered. Morning. Last day today, huh? Yep, Elliot replies plainly before scurrying off and bolting down the stairs. I look over the banister and watch Elliot run for the door. I rub at my chin before turning to look inside his bedroom, which, in his haste, he left the door wide open. Having brought him a hot chocolate most nights, I know we're running out of cups, so I step inside to scavenge for them before I head off to work. Probably not wise after Nicole's intrusion the other day. However, when I do step inside, I'm a little saddened by what I see. Elliot is a huge anime fan. Usually his walls are covered with character posters and his bedroom shelves are littered with figures. But upon entering his room and looking around, all of that is gone. Posters torn from the wall and stuffed in the trash bin by his bed. Figures are all thrown into a random box half pushed under his bed. Nicole? I call out, looking around to see that he's also chucked away his plushies. Yeah? She calls from the other room. What? Come here for a second. I'm in Elliot's room. Moments later, Nicole appears at the doorway, looking in with a sour expression. Eric, don't go in there without Elliot's permission. That's the worst thing we can do. It's not like that. I see all the hot chocolates I've left over the last few nights, some half drunk, and I start gathering them up. I came in here for these. I hold up one cup and then look around his room. Elliot's taken down all of his posters and stuff. What do you think it means? Nicole steps in. Her mouth drops, and she kneels at the box full of figures. I don't know. She pulls one out. I never did personally like these. She holds one up. It's a rather scantily clad woman. I mean, look at this one. Her legs are so long. Women don't look like this. Some women might, I say with a smile. Not all women are as short as you, Nicole. The figure immediately flies towards me, aimed at my head. Nerd, she hisses. Reacting as quick as lightning, I catch the figure in my hand and then peer around it at Nicole. Do you think Elliot is ashamed of liking this stuff? You know, when I was a boy, I'd feel weird if anyone saw my Pokemon collectibles. Nicole brushes her hair out of her eyes and then spots the posters all screwed up. What do you think? I ask, watching Nicole pull them out. Maybe this is Elliot trying to reject the idea of being female by making his bedroom boring and very typically male. Nicole begins to tear up. She wipes at her eyes, slowly pulling the screwed-up poster from the trash. I don't know, Eric, she says with a whimper. I'm really worried. The next day, as Elliot gets home from school, the front door opens, and having taken the day off work, I rush to stand in the hallway. Elliot gives me an annoyed look as he takes off his bag and throws it to the floor. What are you doing here, Dad? Don't you have work? Yeah? I scratch at the back of my head as Elliot starts to run up the stairs. I stop him. Wait, Elliot, please. I really want to talk to you. Letting out a long breath, Elliot glares at me. Why and what about? I rub my neck. Me and your mother are worried about you since you told us that stuff. Do you want to talk about what you're feeling and thinking? Elliot quickly brushes it off with a laugh. A very forced laugh. Oh, Dad. He shakes his head like I've said something stupid. I was being silly, having a bad day at school or something. Right. Please don't ask me about it again, okay? Elliot states, taking a step further up the stairs. I probably just need like a testosterone shot or something, and then I'll feel normal, so don't worry about me. I'm fine. Honestly, completely fine. Never been happier and excited for the holidays. Yeah? Yes, Dad. Elliot takes a few more steps up. I'll, speak to you later. As he's about to disappear upstairs, I call up, hoping he'll want to join me in a taste test. Elliot, I'm testing new flavors today. Want to come join me? It's all the hot chocolate you can drink. No thanks, he calls back out of sight. Hot chocolates are for girls. His bedroom door swiftly closes, ending the conversation. I lower my head, tap the banister with a tired little thud, and sigh. Message received. That evening. Eric, Nicole leans on the kitchen counter beside me. What are you doing? Isn't it obvious? I say with artistic flair, lifting my hands into the air. I'm creating. She looks down at my chocolate and then up at me and shrugs. What's this flavor? 'Cause that pineapple one you made this morning was gross. No, I gently laugh, sprinkling some chocolate on top of the drink. Since Ground Zero Day with Elliot, I make him a hot chocolate every night and take it up to his room. I leave them outside his door, but I'm hoping, I cross my fingers and smile, I'm hoping tonight he might talk to me. Nicole leans against the counter and folds her arms tight. That's cute, Eric. Her voice cracks with emotion. We aren't bad parents, are we? No. I bring my wife in for a cuddle. When Elliot needs us, we'll be there, right? Placing her head into my chest, Nicole just nods. Maybe we need to be more open to the idea of Elliot being a girl, Nicole suggests, looking up at me as I stroke her hair. How? It's about accepting Elliot for who she is, right? So you think we should start thinking of Elliot as our daughter? But what if that's not what they want? Nicole pouts dramatically, then nudges me with a playful push. Seriously, what do we do? If this keeps up, she'll spend all of Christmas Day hiding in her room. Actually, I kiss her forehead, I do have a silly idea that might be funny. Let me drop this hot chocolate off at her door, and I'll tell you what it is. Okay. Nicole tiptoes up to kiss me. I hope it's a good idea because I'm running out of articles to read about gender. At this point, I've read so many, I'm starting to wonder if I've got gender dysphoria. Christmas Eve. Nicole chuckles to herself, covering her mouth with one hand as she looks at me. Are you sure about this, Eric? Absolutely. I look into the mirror at the pink cami and girly short shorts I'm wearing. I know you thought this wouldn't work, but I actually think these are really comfortable. I run my fingers over the top. Women's clothes are so soft. Nicole laughs again as she puts on her matching PJs. Did you really have to shave your entire body for this? I like your body hair. I run my hand down one of my legs. Do you not like this, madame? I tease in a Frenchy accent. Am I not man enough for you in my pink unicorn PJs? Man enough? Nicole asks. Sure, with all that makeup on, those cute pink nails you insisted on, you're absolutely radiating manliness. I flex in the mirror, enjoying the sight of myself in a wig, girly PJs, and makeup. I then turn to my wife, who's putting on some slippers. Do you think she's going to come out and join us for our sleepover night? I brought extra special snacks and stuff, and there's plenty of Christmas films for us to watch. I hope so, Nicole laughs, glancing over at me. She whips out her phone and takes a quick photo, and I strike a pose rather than complain. This is going straight to my trans kids' moms group, she says. They're going to love how much you're doing to help Elliot feel less alone in her gender. Sure, just make sure it's my good side. I pose once again before we cuddle and head downstairs giggling. Nicole puts on a film, and I make some hot chocolate, careful not to spill anything on my unicorn PJs. When everyone's ready, we head to Elliot's door together. Nodding to Nicole that I'm ready for the plan, she slips another pair of PJs under the closed door for Elliot to wear. Elliot, Nicole says softly, we're gonna all wear matching PJs tonight, including your father, which you have to see. He looks adorable with his pigtails and bright pink nails. Moments later, Elliot opens the door. She just looks at me for a moment. I brace myself for a little teasing, but she doesn't even crack a smile at my girly outfit. Somehow, that's even more uncomfortable than if she made fun of me. Doesn't your father look cute? Nicole grabs one of my little pigtails and giggles. We're having a girly sleepover tonight, Elliot. She points at the PJs on the floor. We want you to join us. We'll pig out, watch films, and just relax and have fun, yeah? Elliot's expression sours, her whole face tightening as she picks up the PJs and tosses them onto her bed. Then she looks me straight in the eye, frustration written all over her face. Do you think this is funny? Elliot asks, gritting her teeth. Making fun of me like this? So I bought some girls' clothes and wore them in secret. Doesn't mean you have to make fun of me by doing it yourself, Dad. I'm not making fun, Elliot. I wanted to show you how comfortable I am with things like this. Things like what? Elliot snaps back. Making a fool out of yourself? Sweetheart, Nicole reaches out. We're not making fun. We want you to know how much we love. The door slams in our face. Go away! Elliot screams. Leave me alone! My breath catches in my throat, and I glance at Nicole, who looks back at me bewildered. A few seconds later, we hear sobbing from inside Elliot's room. Nicole stressfully rubs her face. Shit, I say slowly, taking off the wig. I'll, go get changed. Yeah. Christmas Eve night. I tap gently on Elliot's door. I then place the hot chocolate I've made on the floor like normal. But instead of leaving, I kneel next to it and sit, leaning against the wall. I kick out my legs and let out a long breath. Elliot, I speak, not knowing if she's even listening. I'm really sorry if I upset you yesterday. I genuinely thought it would be funny. I scratch my itchy leg, freshly shaven from yesterday. I don't know if you can hear me, but I want you to know that your mother and I love you very much, and we just want you to be happy. I look down at the hot chocolate beside me. The cream is slowly melting into the drink itself. I then bite my bottom lip. I'm not going to pretend to know how you feel or how confusing this must really be for you, Elliot. But I'm here for you. Whenever you want to talk to me, I'm ready. I look up at the ceiling, head against the wall. Whatever you decide you want to be, that's okay with me. Girl, boy, it really doesn't matter when I think about it. All I really want is for you to come out and be yourself. I look down at my feet, my eyes beginning to water. You know, the other day, when you admitted to us that you weren't all that happy with being a boy, I could see how scared you were. You were shaking. You looked terrified. I suppose that comes from worrying that we'd reject you for who you are. I rub one eye and steady myself with a slow breath. My voice catches. I've never been prouder of you. I hope you know that. If you really want to live as a girl, it's going to take courage. More courage than I've ever known. That's for sure. Sometimes things might be hard. Sometimes things might seem hopeless. But I'm going to stand by your side. Proud. Proud that my kid is brave enough to fight for who they want to be. I sit for a moment in silence before I get to my feet. Let's hope Santa brings some happiness tomorrow. I press my hand on the closed door. Love you, Elliot. I'll leave this hot chocolate outside. Night, kiddo. Slowly, I walk back downstairs and into the kitchen. Nicole greets me with a worried smile as she wraps a present on the table. Still nothing, I sigh. Have we really handled this that badly? Nicole, finishing wrapping, pushes the present in front of her and leans back in her chair, slumping. Maybe, Eric, she says and lets out a breath. Hopefully Elliot will like this stocking I've prepared for tomorrow morning. I guess we just keep waiting until he or she is ready. She stares sullenly at the box. Funny. I think she wanted to talk to me about it earlier, but I was so excited about making a breakthrough that I think I scared her off. She gives me a warm smile, then starts to giggle. You still haven't taken off that nail varnish, have you? I look at my hands. Oh, yeah, I kinda like it. Come here, you nerd. Nicole waves me over. She quickly embraces me, kissing me on the lips as she holds my sides. Let's get an early night. I'm exhausted. Did you tell your mother we might not be over tomorrow? Yeah. Nicole presses her head against my chest. I did. Okay. Love you, babe. She looks up at me with those big, beautiful eyes. Love you too. Christmas Day morning. I wake up to find Nicole standing at her bedroom door, still in her PJs, peeking through a small crack in the open door. Merry Christmas. I yawn, stretching my arms out. Eric, she whispers, waving me over. Come here, quick. I flap off the covers and join her at the door, standing against the wall like we're both spies listening to a secret conversation. What is it? What are we doing? Nicole points through the crack in the door. See that? Elliot's taken the stocking gift I left outside the door. You know, the one with the dress I saved and the makeup? Oh, yeah. And look here. Nicole nudges me and then points just outside our bedroom door. 2 hot chocolates. Oh, yeah, I say surprised. Do you think Santa has left them? Maybe it's like the ultimate recipe. She nudges me again. Don't be a dope. Who else could have made them for us? My eyes light up. Oh, do you think? Yup. I push open the bedroom door, grab both hot chocolates, and hand one to Nicole. The mug is still warm. I lift mine to my nose and take in the sweet chocolatey aroma. After one sip, I shoot Nicole a big smile. Wow, that's good. There's a hint of spices in there. The kid's learning. Nicole does the same, leaving a whipped cream mustache across her lip. Wow, this might be better than yours. Maybe, I nod once and then sip again. Maybe. Seconds later, a timid voice calls out to both of us, standing at the end of the hallway. Mom? Dad? I turn to see Elliot standing bashfully in the hallway, wearing that same sequin dress, looking wonderfully festive, with thick wintry tights and cozy boots. Her makeup is done, her nails are painted, and a cute ribbon sits in her hair. Clearly she got up early to put all this together. That's when my heart finally melts. Elliot's smile radiates towards us, bright and full of hope. You wore it! Nicole gushes with pride. You look so pretty, Elliot, in that dress. Oh, and your makeup is just darling. And those shoes, wow. Elliot's face goes red before she locks eyes with me. Dad? She steps closer, eventually breaking into a run as she rushes over to me. Whoa, kiddo, where's the fire? I laugh as she tackles me into a cuddle, almost making me spill my hot chocolate over us both. Her arms press tight around me. She buries her face into my chest and starts to tear up. Thank you for everything. I put my hand gently on top of her head. Not sure what I did, kiddo, but you are welcome. Elliot pulls back, tears running down her cheeks, as she then points at the hot chocolate in my hand. I felt worthless and broken, like you were all disappointed in me after I told you how much I hated being a boy. Elliot wipes her cheeks with both hands. But you bringing me a hot chocolate every night made me feel wanted, Dad. Every night you reminded me I was loved, even when I couldn't say anything back. Merry Christmas, Dad! Elliot cries out, holding me tighter than before. You'll never know how much that means to me. Oh, kiddo. I hold one hand on her head. Of course I'm here for you, always, and so is your mother. Elliot holds me tighter, sobbing into my chest. Thank you for my trans pride flag, too. I put it up straight this morning, and my room feels like mine again. Oh, sweetheart. Nicole whimpers, hugging us both from behind. That's wonderful, sweetheart. Merry Christmas, guys. I hold them both tight. Now, who wants to try my savory morning hot chocolate? Bacon and egg flavor, anyone? I do, Elliot cheers out. That's my girl. I hold them both tight. I knew Santa would bring us some happiness.